Kane said he's happier and now he's going to inflict insufferable pain on his opponent tonight. And I'm just put Kane on top, jokes like 1, 2, 3, and I put that's insufferable pain. Basically, I'm going to do my finish.
Hello and welcome back to the only wrestling podcast that exclusively rebooks, reviews and reimagines the worst of wrestling's past. We are Better Call Creative, and as ever, I am joined to my left by See No Evil, Sam Chance.
Hello.
Hear No Evil, Jack Chance.
Corey.
Hello.
What?
And I am Speak No Evil. I've never said a bad word about anyone other than Sting. And I am your host, Ben Chance. And if that doesn't give you an idea of what we are reviewing today, we are heading to May 19th for a bit of imposter fun.
Yeah.
We donned our favourite Comic Con get-up. And
Fuzzy wig.
we are checking out when Kane fought Kane on May 19th. Well, not May 19th.
No,
that would have made more sense.
June, yes.
But yes, we are checking out Kane's. I can't really explain it because I don't really understand the story. But we're heading back to
Kane's got a film. Make a story around it.
But we are checking out the world of 2006. I actually thought it was a lot later than this, I must admit.
No.
In my mind, I thought it was a bit later, so I was surprised that it was 2006. But topping the UK charts, 2006, want to hazard a guess?
Is it Toby Christian?
It's Niles Barkley with Crazy.
Oh, don't tell Dad.
Don't tell Daddy. We'll give that Imposter Dead.
Fake Dad or somewhere. It's happening again.
It's happening again.
Well, there,
Splashing.
Topping the box office. Guess what it wasn't?
See No Evil.
Is it Da Vinci Code?
It was
the Da Vinci
They
Code.
mentioned that.
Yeah, I got confused then. I thought that was earlier.
Listen to these great films and that shit, like.
Anyone want to hazard a guess who was on the front of the WWE magazine? I'll give you a clue.
Stop, Kate.
It was someone we saw on the podcast.
Rob Conway.
Big Show.
Have a word. No.
Sure.
Lads, Kate.
No. At quite a pivotal
Vince.
moment of the podcast.
God.
Pivotal. So it's going to be made. Is it Ray or JBL?
No. Later on. More pivotal than the day.
Fake Kane.
When did he debut? And who was he fighting?
Orton.
No.
He was, wasn't he?
No. Shelton Benjamin. Have I watched the My goodness. I'm not sure that my co-hosts have watched the product. But yes, it was Shelton Benjamin. The recent gaming release actually sponsored the pay-per-view One Night Stand, ECW 2006.
Oh, I did see the advert, but I can't remember what
Was
it
that
was.
Xbox, wasn't it?
And you said one of the words as well there.
Men.
The official game.
The
Paul Heyman, tell me that.
And if it was a bit of a warning, 2006, West Bromwich Albion, 2 weeks before, were relegated. We were actually
at the end of the season.
Yeah, we were relegated a few weeks prior to that. But Liverpool, they played the weekend before this, winning the FA Cup against West Ham on penalties. The Gerrard
won the
final.
Scottish Cup the same day.
Did they?
Against Gretna, I remember that.
What a day for you. And then they
Happy
ruined
days.
one of your favourite characters.
Fake hearts come out again.
But Jack, I'm hoping. I'm not expecting, but I'm hoping you may have a poll.
I have a poll. It's Only 3 this one, because I can only think of 3.
2006 was
Is it all they all got to be something to do with May 19th?
No, they're all imposters.
Oh, okay.
Fake, not real.
They're not real.
So, basically,
I can't review it. I've made these up.
Whoever fronted the band didn't actually sing the songs.
Oh,
they were just like
okay. Yeah. I know one, man.
You know 2, probably. but the one that you won't know is the first album is J-Lo by J-Lo.
And J-Lo wasn't
in the song Play. You know the song Play, Sam. You always get it on here in your flat. She doesn't actually sing the chorus, so in the song it's not actually her.
What a cop-out.
Yeah, what a kid.
What a total debacle.
So the whole thing that everybody sings, did you play that show? It's not her.
That's not J-Lo. I didn't know that.
It's, is it Festus?
It was Kane. That's why you kept beating her up. That was J-Lo under the mask.
Well,
the other 2, one of them is Night Flight to Venus by Boney M.
Yes, yeah, we know the famous story of let's get that looker.
Get that eye candy out.
Yes, because the male singer never sang a word.
No, he just danced around like a buffoon. And then the last album is All or Nothing by Milli Vanilli.
Oh, yeah, they got
they actually sing.
But they won an award and they had to give it back when they found out they were singing.
They were just dancers, basically.
Yeah.
That was the big sort of
that was the scandal.
That was the scandal.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, 95, I think, or
at some point
everything went wrong.
At some point, we will look back on these podcasts and question why we have a poll that features J-Lo, Boney M, and Milli Vanilli.
I couldn't find a lot of rock that fits.
But wrestling fans, don't you worry. Head over to our Twitter page now to cast your vote on 3 bands that have nothing to do with wrestling.
I don't know.
And let us know what you want Jack to review on our wrestling website, which is bettercallcreative.com.
Kane never released an album that I couldn't choose.
Not yet.
Not yet, no.
Maybe he'll do the Notts County Blues. They should have bought out Blue Cane. That would have been. Has anyone rebooked Blue Cane? That wasn't the considered storyline, that was.
For May 19th.
I don't know whether it was this,
Blue,
but at one point, no, it was just after Kane sort of stopped being a full-time wrestler. He loves the Kane character, so they were considering bringing in a replacement Kane, but making Blue.
Making Blue?
Yeah, obviously.
Why?
Because he's Sub-Zero Kane. Still. They all shatter into pieces.
I have no ice. It was a freezer burn.
Be hot.
So there you go.
What a load of shit.
But we are heading back to the big Raw after WrestleMania. Anything special happen on this Raw after WrestleMania? Is this where God made his debut?
No. It's the Spirit God's first match, I think.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
Was it their first match?
I think it is. Oh, they might have won a tag match against friggin' Visser and Charlie
Eugene, I think, something.
And they're ready. Well,
we've gone through the goddamn tag roster already.
Well, and I mean, well, it's the mashup. It's a mashup of Kane and Big Show's theme. Anyone want to comment on the...
Is it really a mashup? I was explaining.
Well, it's Kane with...
They should have just had him shouting Big Show in the middle of Kane's theme, like they did with the Miz.
Big Show! Big Show, anyone want to mention what we think of his shape?
Fat.
God, he looks awful.
Evil.
He's so fat.
Anyone who says that he was underused in the WWE, he should not have been being used at this point.
Not at this point, no.
And by the middle of the summer, I mean, I know it is the sort of running joke with the Big Show, but I'm right in saying he is also heel, isn't he? Because he fights Taker, so I'm assuming...
Yeah, he does. He goes on ECW.
He's sort of face when he turns on Orton, but then turns heel with Heyman on RVD.
Yeah, after RVD
to win the ECW
after
title.
Vengeance.
Oh, is that?
Yeah, because RVD lost the WWE title on the Raw after, and the ECW title the next night.
Don't smoke those drugs, kids.
We don't get to that.
So, representing their opponents, the Spirit Squad are the team of Kenny and Mikey. Where do we rank Kenny and Mikey? That's probably 1 and 4.
No, I'd say 1 and 2.
You think they're 1 and 2? Mikey is your 2.
Mikey was used a lot.
Yeah, he was the one that got
Don't be
that little dent.
He did live the gimmick.
And then the two they brought back in 2016.
Were they?
They brought back in the Miz Dolph feud for the Inter. They brought back 2 of the Spirit Squad.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Johnny and Mitch, you can fuck off.
I think they quit wrestling.
Mitch ain't even got a Y at the end of the day.
Mitchie.
Think of another name.
Our commentary team at the start, maybe not at the end, is the coach, Joey Styles, and the King. We might be back for Joey Styles.
There's a lot happened in this run.
Hell of a lot happened.
More.
Even when I was looking through, it was right. A lot of stuff was going on.
And a lot of it was bad.
More on.
So, Kane and Mikey start us off. Kane gives him a few chops and slams him after a cartwheel. Kenny is press slammed onto him as Big Show swings fists on the apron. Kane goes high and hits a top rope clothesline. Mitch, though, manages to pull Mikey from harm's way and allows the heels to work over a now injured arm of Kane. There's corner heel work by the Spirit Squad, and Kane hits I'm calling it a Samoan drop. I know it wasn't. I don't really know how to define that fall over with someone on your back. And tags in the Big Slow. He lays out the heels, and we get the ref bump. The heels regroup. The ref bump's really weird because Kane makes the hot tag and then just has a lie down outside.
Yeah.
Enough of this.
But the ref bump allows a big. I mean, the big bump, was it? Is that what they called it? The game bump. The game big
his birthday. What? No, that's enough.
I mean, in fairness as well, it was
they did get him up.
Yeah, but they had to struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a fat man.
Yeah. I thought Jerry Springer was going to come and interview him afterwards because he couldn't get out his house. I washed myself with a rag on a stick. Kenny hits a top rope leg drop, which Kenny always does well. I think we would all agree. And the Spirit Squad, as you correctly said, a couple of matches into their sort of WWE run, are now the tag team champions. Anyone want to comment? Sam, I'll start you off.
It was very strange how Kane just fucked off. I was expecting like the voice thing to start here.
Yeah.
That cost him, but the fact that he just disappeared. Okay.
I've had enough now. I've done Barbies. I'm off.
Very strange.
I've been carrying this big bastard. Jack?
Yeah, it was alright. It was nothing special. Got the belts off him, put him on a new team, which he tried to build. Beat a credible team in Kane and Big Show, so yeah, it was fine.
And they did put over, and they carry on as well. We hear it quite a lot about this is the most dominant tag team we've ever seen in the history of our industry.
In the history of our great sport.
So they did try at the very least to put over the Spirit Squad. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was what it was, I suppose.
Yeah.
Well, they ain't going to go out
and the belt.
Beat the living shit. The living shit out of Kane.
He's got to be.
And then do the running man back. With a cone.
So I'm sure one of them used the cone on him in a match. Probably DX, or
yeah, well, definitely. We will be back for 2006. 10th of the 4th Raw, and Coach leads a standing ovation for our new tag team champions who are on their way out. We get a recap of last week's big title win for the squad. Coach tells us that now it's not the Freebird rule, it's a completely different rule where all 5 members are now the tag team champions.
Yeah. So Mitch, former champ.
Could you, if NWO would have done it, would there have been like 19 different members of NWO?
Hogan and Horace.
Vincent and Norton.
Kevin Nash and Buff.
We go backstage and we see a stumbly mumbly Kane who looks like he's had one too many of Sam's beers. And
Bastard.
We can also hear the voices in his head.
I get a very much a Warrior in the Mirror vibe from a lot of this.
Yeah. I mean, I do kind of get, to a certain extent, you've got to kind of fill the audience in, but it is a bit of a cop-out. he could just be muttering to himself.
He could be rocking back and forward, Saved by 19.
Yeah, yeah.
What the fuck's going on?
Yeah, it just wouldn't make much. It doesn't.
He should have been rocking back and forward.
He should have walked up and just whispered, "AW, brother."
No more BS, brother.
So yes, we know what Kane is hearing. Basically, they say they're all going to know it's happening again, May 19th.
It's RoboCop. He's back.
Oh my God, he's back!
And,
very slowly walking down the corridor.
And Kane cowers to the voices. Show approaches and he plays all daddy show and goes, "It's me. Are you all right?"
Say, Kane, they're like lunch for him or anything.
Good for the eye. Right for the eye.
Yeah.
King,
we'll get there.
King could take no more silly antics from the squad as the big monster heels are out. He was getting.
What, one of him scooting on his arse?
Yeah, I don't know what.
When he come back from the break,
Was it me?
Johnny's got worms or something.
He's got an itchy bum.
So, our tag team this week is Johnny and Nikki. Nikki being.
Nick Nimeth.
You won't announce him as Skull.
No.
He died the moment that Nick Nimeth died.
The caddy.
Johnny gets a few chest slaps and a big scoop slam. A very slobbery shh from the Big Show. What Scooby fucking do when he does it? And a further slap. Kane continues the offense with a hip toss before Nikki is in. Nikki gets tossed upside down and chopped. And finally, Johnny gets a tiny bit of offense. Nikki drop kicks him onto Kane, but a big back body drop, and Big Show is back in. Show stands on Johnny, and then he lays in a headbutt. Big Show press slams Nikki over the top onto the Spirit Squad as we get the break spot. After the break, Kane is poised on the top rope for a clothesline, but he's knocked off the top. Johnny hits a spinning enziguri as the squad now start to build momentum. Outside the squad lay into Kane before Big Show scares them off. Kane's legs are now worked over, and Johnny gets a 2 on a top rope drop kick. Kane does his sit-up spot and a double suplex. We're led to believe that Kane can now hear voices because we don't have to hear them to see that he's obviously struggling.
That can only happen backstage.
Yeah. He goes a bit mental, knocks them all outside, grabs a load of chairs, and that is enough to cause a DQ. That's enough.
Big Show.
He goes
stuff. People have got to sit down, you know.
To finish the segment off, Kane gets in. Big Show tries to calm him down again, and they do the standard Big Show with other big man choke spot. But this time, Kane gouges the eye of Big Show and hits a choke slam, which, in fairness, for Big Show being as huge as he is,
he got off the floor.
He got off the. I've seen worse choke slams, Hogan and Taker. So.
I think it was more Hogan that caused that, not Taker.
Hogan just thought, no, if I'm losing, I'm keeping my heat, so I'm going to just rock gently back. We will be back, Judgment Day.
Rock me gently, brother.
I mean, I thought the match was way too slow. Obviously, you're not putting the squad over so much in this match. It's just about putting over Kane. Is now mental again.
Yeah.
So why couldn't they just do this quicker? Then
and have it from the off. Yeah, like have him hearing it as he was coming down the ring.
Because I mean, other than about 2 minutes.
Come on, stupid.
Or just not have him in the match, and then it's a handicap, and then he comes out after and costs him.
Yeah, because I just thought all you've done really is done a 10-minute squash match for the first 10 until break, and then given them 2 minutes of offense before Kane goes, "No, I've had enough of this."
Chairs.
Throws a load of chairs, so I didn't like the booking of this man.
No, it was too long. It should have been either Kane not coming out or having been mental from the off instead of I'm going to wrestle for a bit. Oh, wait a minute, I've gone mad now.
I've had as much as I can stand. I can't stand no more.
And the bit in the middle when they was talking to each other, that took too long as well.
Yeah.
It was just there for ages. You go, just eat him. That's what I was waiting for. Just do it.
A while. We both at each other's throats for ages.
No, I just thought when they was talking for ages, not listening to each other, just eat him. Do it for fuck's sake.
Jack.
I don't think it was great. I think it achieved what it wanted to in terms of starting the feud between Kane and Big Show, but it probably the crowd just cheered Kane.
Yeah,
Even though he's the
that
heel.
happens
They're
a lot.
like, yeah, we love Kane. So fuck you, fat Joe.
all the way.
They just love Kane.
That tickled me.
That's going to be the start.
Fuck you, fat Joe.
That's like that bloke who tweeted about Big Fat Joe. Oh, God. Yeah. Brilliant. So, moving forward, we did skip a Raw. Jack kindly...
I refuse to watch too much Rob.
Kindly gave us a break from this. We missed...
Is that what we missed?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We missed Kane facing Rob Conway a week later, beating him with ease before hearing voices again. Snaps this time, he grabs Lillian Garcia, throws her to the ground as Big Show comes out to save him. The one thing we did get deprived of, I don't know whether you saw it, is Big Show walking out in his singlet, but with big fat man pants over the singlet as well. So he had like his singlet on, and then a big balloon MC Hammer pants as he walked down.
So he's not quite buzzed.
I didn't show you that one, so I thought you don't need to see that.
And this time, it was a bit... I mean, I understand why it was removed, because it was just a repeat of last week, but 50-50 booking. Big Show gets it this time.
There was a little bit with Lillian, which you probably thought at Backlash was good on here.
Well, I was a bit confused why it was outside, and I thought, well, something must have happened.
But they never really
do
did
an
anything with it, so it was pointless.
Thank you, Jim Ross, for filling me in.
But we did miss Rob Conway, but we will be back for Rob.
Yeah, well.
Enjoy him while you can. He gets fired on telly not long after.
Was he actually fired on TV?
Yeah, Vince came out after his match and actually fired him on telly.
It was legit, that was it. He was done then.
He was done, yeah.
He probably knew he was good. Like.
Yeah.
Well, I hope so.
They don't just go out and you're fat. You're shit.
Rob Conway died the moment he shaved his moustache. Let's face it. I
He did become NWA champ after.
The moment he lost his biker hat and his leather pants. That was it.
His generic look at me gimmick.
I'll talk about Rob later. So, moving forward. Yes. 24th of the 4th Raw, and we see Kane chatting to himself before Big Show walks up. He says that they are friends, partners, and tag team champions. He tells him as a friend he's concerned for him. Kane says that says he said that date. Big Show says, what date? May 19th. But Kane tells him to stop saying it or else. Big Show plays Nelson Muntz from Simpsons there and goes, May 19th. So Kane goes absolutely berserk and gouges the eye of Big Show. Did you see who came to...
Yeah, I saw that too.
Trevor Murdoch, landscape, and...
Did you see him?
Bruce Snitsky.
We
ain't got to Bruce yet. I was very happy when I saw Bruce.
And Big Johnny as well.
Yeah. Big Johnny, but Bruce gets right in shot, screaming for help for Big Show, who's got a bit of ketchup on his eyeball. Really screaming for help.
Oh, God. Bruce in this.
He's so over it.
And I was thinking, my God, Ben's going to hate every face.
He pissed me off. He over. Oh my God! Because he overreacted. I was expecting like next week he just had one of them gangly eyes.
Vader eye.
Like a ray eye with a big ball.
Fucking fast forward to Sunday and he's got a stitch. He's done his scratch.
He said he'd give him a scratch. Obviously, it was the only segment that sort of advanced our storyline between now and our next match. But anyone want to comment on anything that happened?
Well, you'd think that because he gouged his eye twice, something with May 19th is going to be with his eye.
Yeah.
In terms of because he is blind in one eye.
That was the part of the story.
The contact lens.
Is that right? I don't know.
That's all part.
That is why. That's what at this point, if I was 29 now watching it in 2006, I would have thought, well, it's going to be when he went blind. I assume. But we'll see whether that happens. It was nice to see Snitsky. I was happy about that.
I've missed you.
You killed my kid!
That's a good point, really.
I mean, don't gouge his eye.
I don't matter, I like feet now. Oh, you're fine with me then.
You killed my kid. But you didn't say that date, so I'm alright with you. So,
wonder if that happened on May 19th. Go back.
He probably did. Maybe that's why he's angry. So we go forward to
this fucking storyline.
forward now to Backlash 2006. Todd Grisham interviews a taped up Big Show, and by taped up I mean he's got a little stitch. He shits on Kane having a movie and reminds us that he was in The Waterboy.
Well done, Show.
What's that?
I was in The Waterboy. So what?
You don't see me beating up footballers or whatever.
Well, you beat up boxers and sumo wrestlers, Big Show.
We'll be back for your film career, Big Show. He mocks May 19th as the day that Kane's goldfish died. And part of me thinks, well, that would have been a more plausible storyline than what we got.
I lost my fish.
He promises, as Jack correctly said, tonight we will see an eye for an eye.
Oh, no, not for an eye, man.
I love that.
Oh, no.
Because an eye for an eye.
That's what's going to play.
No, not him as well.
That's the theme.
Big Knowles comes out.
God, we've just got over 2020. Can we not get back
kind
to
of people.
So, Lillian Garcia is outside and rightfully petrified as Kane is announced. And on commentary, I didn't realise this because I thought they'd replaced him. But apparently JR was just brought back to do the pay-per-views at this point.
Yeah, I think
they just kicked off Joey Styles.
Yeah.
So it's a pay-per-view, mate. Fuck off.
You can't fucking call this.
It's backlash.
This is going to be a great match.
So yes, JR and the King are our commentary team, like a nice pair of comfy slippers. We see plenty of May 19th signs in the crowd. Lawler suggests that this must be more than just the release date for his film.
No shit. I hope so. If this was all for film, as soon as a film date, actually.
Yeah.
I'm gouging people's eyes out so they haven't got to watch it.
Kane gets in a cheap
Wait
shot.
for the sequel.
What, in 4 years?
It was 2014, I think.
Oh, was it 8 years?
8 years later.
The sequel no one
Long
wanted.
storyline.
Kane gets in a cheap shot on the belt and is quickly and impressively press slammed. And if the match ended then, 5-star from Meltzer. Big Show lays in the corner, chest slaps. Kane goes straight for the eye. The fan can't help screaming May 19th. That does actually get a little chant going.
It does.
Typical WWE, instead of getting the wrestlers over, has got a date over instead. Kane works over the arm of the Big Show. Big Show kicks out of a clothesline on 2. Comms team do a good job putting over the date must mean more than just the movie. I'm not sure it does. Top wrist lock. Yeah, that's what you want, isn't it, in a blood feud? What this match really needed is chain wrestling, and that comment will be paid off in 2 matches time.
Yes, it will.
Oh, yes, it will.
What a match.
Kane goes up high, but he's caught, and Big Show hits a fall-away slam. Show calls for the choke slam, but Kane sort of reverses it. And at this point, I'm sure there's an audible snore. I'm sure JR snores on commentary.
You brought me back from this.
JR admits that this hasn't been too good as Big Show hits a power slam for 2. I love it when because JR always does the bowling shoe ugly. Or, this is not catch as catch can.
Yeah, it's basically his way of going, this is.
Show teases, oh God, the most dangerous tease of all, the straight finger.
Oh, yeah, the claw. The claw from
Liar. It's the claw. I'm going to tickle you.
I don't want to be tickled.
I love that. He ain't built that up in any match, so everybody's like, why is
He's got a big finger.
choke him?
Look at that big finger.
It kicks Show to the out.
Smell my finger.
Oh God, call me that, surely. It kicks Show to the outside so we can get the red lighting and we can hear Kane's voices. I like the commentary team because I don't think they quite know whether they've got a sense or whether they've not, because they just go, what's that?
What the hell is going on?
What's going on here? It's better than WCW with Warrior in the mirror. When they go, look at that! Look at us!
But I just could not believe the ending. Vince McMahon was always said, whatever way you end is
What you remember.
What you remember. And they end this with Kane writhing around in agony at the voices in his head. And to sort of put him out his misery, the Big Show smashes him with a chair and then walks out of the match. Presumably he was DQ'd. There was no official announcement. It
That
was
happens
one
a
of
lot.
those. Yeah, well, that's all the people.
Was he
need to
crying
know.
or was he just like?
Yeah, they never. I don't know who won. It's just ended.
Oh, well, Big Show was I think he was trying to get emotion, but even Big Show probably thought, well, this is fucking shit. This is. I mean,
You
to
know,
be honest,
You don't get that with any therapy.
the match was okay. It was Kane v Big Show. There's a bit moments where there's a bit.
I think that's all you need to say with it.
But
Mate.
fuck
It's
me.
Kane v Big Show.
Yeah, the ending.
The ending was funny.
Right.
For me.
You like the ending?
Yeah. Because
your
when it
favourite
happens later on,
Match
you
of the
should
night.
have just had Big Show running out with a chair. They got Kane.
Well said. He got bad again.
Oh, he's off. There we go. See you next week.
I would have had it more of a brawl, but maybe there weren't enough heat in the angle anyway, because the last time we saw Big Show, he was trying to be Kane's friend, so I suppose maybe there wasn't enough.
Weren't you champs a month ago?
Yeah. Jack?
Awful. It was absolutely awful. I hated the match. It was the wrong way around because Big Show should be the one trying to wrestle Kane because he don't want to hurt him because he's his mate, and Kane should be like, "No, I'm going to gouge your eyes out.
I'm going to guide your eyes out.
Gouge
Come
your
here.
eyes out of your head." And then Big Show does the claw thing for some reason. And then the red light and the May 19th don't make any sense if it's just in his head. Are we all bad? And then Big Show...
Yeah, we're reviewing this.
And then Big Show just hits him with a chair and walks off.
And the fact that it stopped straight away.
JR, who ain't been here for the whole feud,
I love
he's so
JR.
confused by it all. It's just made me laugh. But I thought this is one of the worst things we've watched, I think. It was awful.
Well, we'll get to it. You mean
this
this
match,
just match?
the match in terms of the way it was booked and the story of the match, I thought it was awful.
Well,
There's no reason.
I'll take this match and raise you a Raw match in a bit. So we move forward to the next night on Raw. I think we should put some context to this, and it does sort of touch upon shit that's been going down. The Spirit Squad are now the GMs of Raw for the
When
night.
the fuck did that happen?
Mr. McMahon has given him the running of the show because they helped him beat Shawn and his tag team partner, God, last night.
What a story.
So, John, in the main event, Kenny will fight John Cena. Thankfully, we don't need to watch that. But backstage, Mitch, the official spokesperson for the fucking Spirit Squad, tells Shawn
Head
Michaels...
right and mid.
tells Shawn Michaels he's going to be the ref in the Rob Conway versus Kane match, and he's going to have to wear a yellow shirt with May 19th written all over it. Joey Styles is now back on commentary with the King
Great.
as Shawn heads out in his shirt. So, Rob Conway is out. Let's face it, I mean, the gimmick isn't great without the tash, but the Randy Newman entrance theme is just fucking brilliant.
I love
isn't it?
that theme. That's
It's
amazing.
just amazing.
What a gimmick.
How could that nowadays? I mean, I know it was a little bit over then, but the fans have gone like even more smarky. He'd have been like fucking Joey Ryan and stuff, wouldn't he?
Right,
Like,
No, you call it. No.
I'll bleep that out. He'll be like,
Ryan Styles.
yeah. Yeah, it'd be like Colin Mockery now.
It was the only Ryan I could think of. It was
Yeah.
Ryan Braddock.
I just think he would be really over with that sort of gimmick now. You can get someone
he would,
over
yeah.
with a theme. And that,
Yeah.
but did he ever win?
No.
Rob Conway.
Oh, he beat Greg Valentine on Heat.
Yeah, he had a
And
heat
Coco.
feud with Legends,
Yeah.
which was strange.
When they started the legend stuff, it was, who do we have that's at the bottom who can job? Rob! Oh, yeah.
Go and lose to Animal.
No, I don't think Animal was there at that point.
Tatanka debuted on SmackDown.
fucking hell.
Re-debuted. So yes, obviously he's currently going through his losing streak gimmick, which, you remember that losing streak gimmick that got no one ever over? No one has ever got over with the losing streak.
Kurt Hawkins got a tag title run out of it.
Yeah, got a cane.
He also got fired during the pandemic.
He is now on a podcast though, that's doing quite well about wrestling figures with the...
I thought you meant ass.
Not ass.
Not ass.
Stay off ass.
He's watching the film with us.
So, anyway.
Big enough, I bet he'd do it.
Sean checks him over, low blows him, eventually, and struggles. Eventually, he gets this t-shirt on backwards. I know what I had.
Yeah.
Kane heads out.
It's out, catch it right.
Simple match. Kane destroys him with kicks. Rob tries to run away. Sean stops him running away, feeds him to Kane, gives him a trash can, hands it to Kane. Kane uses it, chokeslams him. The match is done. Kane wanders off. Sean screams May 19th. It sounds suspiciously like Sean. He ignores that it is Sean and says it's Rob Conway, and he comes back down. Does he? Do you think he hits the tombstone, doesn't he?
Yeah,
he
didn't do quite a lot at that point. And pins it.
Yeah, it's actually a finish.
And
Which I was surprised at.
yeah, which he weren't too arsed about a minute before. He was like, let him have the fucking count out win, but now he's
Never said that date. Well, he didn't
Now I've
say
got
it.
an opinion. That's you bastard.
I mean, I don't know where I stand with Rob Conway, because maybe I look back at him with more fondness than he really was, because I think he was probably a bit shit.
He was a bit shit.
I think he's all right.
But I do think he was a bit...
Nothing special.
It was just a feed, whoever's the
Yeah,
lowest.
it was lowest
Okay.
on the totem pole. You will fight Kane.
I'm not
and
quite
have Sean
sure.
do his comedy.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure that you can have the comedy element in this sort of thing,
No.
because it kind of takes away the fact that this bloke is literally having a mental breakdown, so people just go, I know what we're going to do, keep poking him.
Yeah. That's why Big Show went with his finger.
And the face
Okay.
is poking him.
Yeah,
Not
exactly.
Rob Conway. It's
Yeah.
Sean who's poking him.
Yeah.
Sean
Although
is
you
a
could
complete
argue
dick.
maybe it's a byproduct of the
The
spirit squad.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you are right. I mean, they need to give him a trash can, did they?
Sure,
They need to.
What's Rob Conway done to you, Sean? Did they have a match?
They're trying to fit one storyline within another one.
Yeah,
And it was too. And to be honest, Kane should have come back and just gone for Sean because I ain't deaf, I know it's you.
Plus,
And he did.
there's more money with you in a few.
Yeah.
Anyone want to add anything at all to that?
You always remember that.
I do
moment
remember that
in
bit,
the
yeah.
run. So there is that. But when you watch it, you think, fuck me, this is a bit. Doesn't make any sense.
It went a bit too long as well. I think
Yeah,
I
it
would
was
have-
a bit
I would have
too
put it by a couple of minutes. So we've arrived at probably my favourite bit of road agent work from whoever road agents in the next match, which happens on the 8th of May, 2006. It's definitely that year. Raw. And it is the Big Show. And back on commentary, because Joey Styles walked out the week before, is JR.
Thank fuck.
We're back to a bit of backlash. The blood feud no one wanted is Kane v Big Show 2. Big Show, as well, he's pretty much not arsed as he comes out. He's proper happy clappers.
Yeah. Smiling. I'm face now.
Yeah. Kane and,
Look at my finger.
Kane and Show have a stare down, but then they bump fists, which is,
Yeah.
at least they're worried about COVID-19.
You tried to gasp, man. I like you. You beat up Rob Conway.
So, what now happens? Big Show, drop towel. What?
Wow.
And then he shows cat-like agility as he does the fast feet. And then we get Peanuts. Kane bridges, but he's gut-wrenched by Big Show. It's like watching Ray and Eddie at Halloween Havoc 97. This is. It's unbelievable.
Even Jim Ross is confused.
Yeah, we all were.
This is Matt I didn't expect.
The trade Hammerlocks as the crowd get restless. Kane hits a drop toe hold again. Show gets into the buckle, and again we have the rehashed finish. As the pyro goes off, we hear Kane's voices. Kane gets a chair this time and lays into Big Show. And he lays into Big Show.
Yeah.
And we assume, again, because there's no official word, that this is a DQ.
DQ.
So 50-50 booking with
Yeah.
a bit of comedy in the middle. Well, that was weird. Sam?
So
Take a swing.
You've got one bloke who's having a mental breakdown, who's trying to gouge out the eye of his mate, who doesn't seem bothered. So let's have a chain wrestle. Okay,
Well, when you put it like that.
why? I'm mentally unstable. You've tried to gouge my eye out. Let's have a test of strength. I was just confused as Jim Ross. There was a lot of drop toe.
Well, that's all I could do.
This is the slowest chain wrestling I've ever
You
seen.
can do a head scissors.
Or the cruiserweight bit where one jumped on the shoulders.
Sometimes I think to myself, why do they give you stuff that you ain't asked for? Like, no one has ever looked at Kane and Big Show and gone, you know what I want to see? I want to see her do some luchador shit. It's just,
It don't make sense.
just let them be big bastards and bounce off each other.
You've got smaller bastards to do that. Dumpy, flippy stuff. You've got Mikey.
If the storyline was, you know, we're more than just monsters, we're technical wrestlers.
We're men.
I don't know. The storyline needs it, then fair enough. This storyline didn't need this. Jack?
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I remember it. I remember watching it live. Well, not live, but at the time, and absolutely crying with joy because Kane and Big Show have decided we're just fuck the feud. We're just going to chain wrestle until the shit happens because it don't really matter what happens. The only thing that matters is I'm going to smash you with a chair. So honestly, I loved all of it. And it was awful chain wrestling as well. The Big Show can't even do the little shuffle with his feet. No. He can't even do that quick. But, my God, that was amazing. When they're trading hammerlocks going inside out, it's like Steamboat Savage.
I keep telling you, at some point we're going to have to sit down and review all our podcasts, break down everyone's match of the night, and at some point in the long future... You're going to have to look and go, why the hell did I say that was the match of the night?
Because when we do it and we do a tournament, that will win. Greatest match that we've ever watched.
That or Sick Nick B.
Sandy versus
two big men. What
a
mental breakdown and somebody whose eyes nearly fell out. Chain wrestling. Or two people jumping off a roof. That's not the finish.
I almost feel like as well that kind of is indicative of our podcast because instead of being able to look at Undertaker Mankind, we watch Sick Nick versus Zandig, and instead of Steamboat Savage, we get Kane and Big Show from Raw. It just is.
It's amazing, that. I mean,
yeah. Other podcasts actually at least focus on good things as well. We only focus on shit. We don't get no respite.
You need to watch it. It's amazing.
It is one of the few things from this run that
you'll want to gouge your eyes out after it.
So,
your own.
in typical WWE booking standard, what they did is they booked May 19th as an angle for a Raw superstar. And May 19th falls on a SmackDown. So we didn't get to see the next Raw because Kane wasn't on it at all. He was taken off that show, I assume.
To go to SmackDown.
So we go forward to May 19th, 2006.
This is the end of the podcast.
And it is Rey Mysterio up against a mystery opponent. I can't remember who was booking SmackDown at the time in terms of storyline booking.
Michael Hayes, I think.
Yeah,
no, I mean storyline, so who was the GM? Because why did JBL get to pick...
Jenny Long.
Jenny Long?
Their sister.
It's like Santina Morella. It's Teddy Long in a wig.
Yeah, well, I couldn't understand why JBL was pretty much picking him.
I forgot he was US champ at this point as well.
Which makes him the number one contender we've established.
That's true.
He dances his way out in a USA sports jacket, gets on the announce table and grabs a microphone, speaks in broken Spanish because, need to be a bit racist, tells Ray that he looks terrible. He mocks Albuquerque before suckering Ray into saying May 19th.
But really, what if this was when the show was going out, what date was it actually taped on?
2 days before.
So
the crowd would have been going, what? Karen's.
Maybe that could. I was thinking maybe they had on live thing. JBL said, "What date is it in 2 days' time?" But they had to splice it in, say, "What day is it today?" So they could mash it up.
It's Friday.
I don't think they care too much about Albuquerque. I just think
nobody booed and revolted on the match. Got the date wrong.
That's it, we're off. So Kane is out as his mystery opponent. So we have our big blow off, which is Kane as a mystery opponent. Cole is. I mean, Cole.
Cole and Taz.
so much.
God.
They are good though.
Oh, they are good.
Cole.
You sick bastard! You sick bastard! He's just been chain wrestling. What you worried about?
Taz was confused.
Then
They got fucking raw.
he is your world champ. I mean, you should be able to
You can't
compete.
beat Finley. How's he going to beat him? You sick
I
bastard.
did like the selling though.
It was very, very over the top. I think Vincent turned up to a SmackDown table this week. She was in Cole's here. So
We got a Raw superstar on SmackDown. I've got to be there.
Ray eats a big boot from the Brett Rope dive. Kane totally dominant as JBL laughs on commentary that his plan is all coming together. Ray's mouth is legitimately busted open and he's slammed into the steel steps. JBL tells us that the crowd don't even chant Ray's name. We will be back for Rey Mysterio's title run.
Everything in this period. And I remember it so fondly.
2006. I mean, we've already done Boogeyman.
We will be
Fucking
back. I think actually Boogeyman might be quite high. The best. Big clothesline in the corner. JBL
The
is
pirate.
absolutely on fire on commentary here.
Yeah.
It's just so good.
It's sort of like meshing the two SmackDown because the year later it is JBL and Cole.
Ray fights back with pace. The crowd do care about Ray. Whatever they've done, they care about him. Although it is in Albuquerque, which is New Mexico, isn't it?
Yeah.
North Mexico, as
North,
JBL
yeah,
called
North
it.
Mexico. We get the same voices and the red light again. JBL is furious here. He tries to reason with Kane, who is 619. Kane catches Ray though and chokeslams him. Kane tries to walk off, but JBL pleads with him, says it's May 19th. Kane then comes back, chokeslams him to close the show. So your main event on SmackDown leading into your big pay-per-view between your two title holders ends with a Raw superstar destroying your two main eventers. Big Show!
No more BS, brother.
This bloke struggled to chain wrestle Big Show and he just destroyed SmackDown.
The world champion.
Don't worry, Tatanka's coming back.
Jack, save us.
The
Save
match
us.
was good.
Yeah.
JBL's amazing.
Mm.
Ray as champ, maybe not. We'll talk about that. Cole, oh my God, calm down a bit. Taz, you're very good. The match is great. The finish, I don't like. You ain't got a winner again. And like you say, this is you go home to a pay-per-view and your main event. Your two champions as well, the mid-card champion and the world champion, have been buried by a bloke who's been fighting Rob Conway and chain wrestling Big Show and couldn't beat Mikey. So,
Mick.
Yeah. Mickey! Mickey Quinn. He couldn't even beat Mickey Quinn. So, yeah, I don't like the fact that they've buried them, but before that, I thought it was brilliant.
The match was really good. And Ray's really, really good, isn't he? Especially when he's fighting
When he's
someone
fighting
big.
somebody big, he can just do everything.
Yeah.
Well, except Carly.
No one could wrestle that.
That was the week before, I think.
But yeah, I mean, I really like Ray, and we will come back for his title run, so we'll talk about it more on that podcast. But I can understand that it does whack a load of heat onto Kane, which they've not done well in this run.
Well, at the end of him walking out, he's getting cheated because he's chokeslammed JBL.
Of course, yeah. I don't think they ever established that this was a heel run. This was basically just, look at that, Matt, he's going back. He's cracked back. Sam, want to add anything?
Yeah, I like the match. I did like the sell by Cole and that when he come out. So I don't remember that bit. I remember Kane coming out because it's the day. I mean, in all honesty, you kind of had to have Kane on there somehow,
You did.
considering it's May 19th, and if Kane just day appear on SmackDown.
That would have been fabulous.
You go, oh, it's finished.
May 19th. You come back next day. It's May 21st.
I'm staying in bed.
I'm all right now. I feel better.
I'm staying in bed this day. Don't wake me up.
Well, I mean, that explanation isn't far off what we get.
No, exactly.
So,
But yeah, I like the match. I did like the selling. Yeah, the JBL, you could always see it coming because it's JBL. The heel's got to get the.
it was a bit of a Scooby-Doo kind of.
Yeah. But as you
Yeah,
say, you've just kind of buried SmackDown.
Yeah, completely. I mean, the world title being held by Ray has devalued the world title, and the show being ended like that as Steve I lived the show. Poor SmackDown, but don't worry, it's okay. So
we got a buggy man.
We move forward to Raw on the 22nd of May 2006. And we have finally saw the back of May 19th. So this mess is over.
Yeah, see, we can finish now.
So we're ready. We're ready to explain and getting the big scoop. Todd Grisham. He tells us. He interviews Kane, who tells us that May 19th is the day that his mother and adopted family. That's what he says.
Yeah, adopted family. Yeah.
So he was adopted now.
Well, they did say back in like '98, Paul Bearer is his dad.
Yeah,
so
but that doesn't mean he was adopted, though. Did because his mum was his mum. Paul Bearer was his dad.
Basically,
so he's on Taker's dad, Big Taker, Big Bugger, Bugger.
Oh, Bugger Red.
Massive stuff.
he's won the custody of Kane in a ladder match.
I think it'd be a casket match, I think, basically,
the convoluted storyline of Kane is very confusing.
And his adopted dad and brother.
Okay. He adopted them.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure it out.
I know what he's getting at, but I think he used the wrong word.
He's burnt in a fire. They were burnt in a fire on May 19th.
Somebody died.
Why he was really worried that the voices in his head were saying, I'm going to know. Because we know what it was, and we don't care.
And it was already admitted by Taker back in '99 that he did do it.
Yeah. And we don't really care, do we? Did Taker say he did it?
I think Paul Bearer admitted when they were starting his heel turn for the ministry. That was when they admitted he did do it on purpose.
So Taker killed his own family
apparently.
On purpose.
Oh, look, it's Russo booking, so it was all confusing.
And then
apparently it was an accident, and he said he did it. Yeah, exactly.
Who wrote this shit?
What an evil man.
Evil best.
But obviously, that's all behind him. Let's plug the film. He sells us that he likes killing people.
I'm happy now.
He's never been happier than when he's killing folk. So that's basically it.
Well, surely he should have been happy regardless of the date.
Yeah.
Stupid idiot.
Later, Trevor Murdoch in the ring and tells us that the critics have seen the Da Vinci Code and see no evil and decided that the leading man is Tom Hanks. All right.
It ain't as good as that one, is it, brother?
And now that's the storyline. Tom Hanks versus Kane.
Tom Hanks was burned in a fire.
Kane is out and he corners Big Trevor. Everyone, we've got to all establish we all love a bit of Big Trevor.
Oh, yes.
Oh, Sam absolutely adores Trevor.
He's fabulous.
I like Trevor.
Yeah, brilliant. Big Trev.
Big Trev.
He hits the big clothesline. And then the big choke slam for the win. I can't really add much more than that.
No, that is it.
I think that was it. All the while, JR and King are trying to get us to see no evil.
Because I did put this. Kane said he's happier and now he's going to inflict insufferable pain on his opponent tonight. And I've just put, Kane on top, choke slam, 1, 2, 3, and I put, that's insufferable pain. Basically, I'm going to do me finish.
That's enough.
I never even thought of that. That's insufferable. You should have stood over and cut the promo.
I wish you'd just run with a big sidewalk.
That's the pain.
I was expecting to not go bad, and then when that happened, that's it.
Well, in fairness,
all the promo for that.
Hey, you see the army when they capture prisoners of war, they just choke slam them all the time until they get the info out of them.
Where's the weapons?
Choke slam. Hey! Inflict insufferable pain.
Oh,
we need the info.
So we're drenched in red light again. We hear Kane's voices, which warn that it's not over, and we see the mask on the screen. Do not be alarmed.
Be very alarmed.
I've just put crap explanation. Big Trevor doing the job is in fashion at the moment. What a waste of a big.
We've already jobbed and fired Rob Conway. Who's next?
Nice teaser what's to come now, I suppose. At least we know that the feud isn't now going to be about jobbing to Tom Hanks. Anyone else want to add?
I think it kind of explains the May 19th. At least it gives it some explanation instead of just going, well, what was May 19th? Well, that don't matter. I'm happy now.
It's gone now.
Shut up. Let's forget the fact that for the past 10 years I've not bothered about that date. It's only 2006 that it matters. We won't visit it again.
Been in the company 9 years. I've probably wrestled on a dozen fucking May 19th. Jack.
Oh, the explanation's terrible. I don't mind that he's happy now that he's passed. Okay, I can get past that.
What about the insufferable pain?
The insufferable pain line. I didn't pick up on it until you completely buried it, which is amazing. The choke slams him good, gets him over in the face because they just assume, well, we can't make him heel. People love him. But then it continues, and it's like, well, why? Why is he now on the trot? I mean, that never happened before.
No, but at least, you know, seeing the mask and you know, knowing it's going to continue does create a tiny
The
bit
mask
of
will
buzz.
get fans going, oh, we like the mask.
Well, we know that because that's all they really care about.
Until he puts it back on in 2011.
Who's that behind the mask? So we go forward 1 week, and Kane. I don't know whether this was for the IC title.
Yeah, it was.
It was.
Yeah.
So now he's the number 1 contender for the IC title after beating Trevor.
So does that mean Trevor Murdoch was the next one?
Roll up, Trevor.
Trevor's going on.
So yes, Shelton Benjamin is heel because he's wearing a kimono T-shirt.
I was expecting his mama to come out with him.
Was this around?
I think
Mama
it was
Benjamin
just after, because on his Titantron he was with her, but I think her'd gone by this point.
I love how Vince sees heels. He can't get over. Keep a big back woman.
Get his mama in. That'll get him a heel.
So yeah, Shelton is here. Can't hurt Kane early on. Big boots, and Shelton's head nearly comes off as we go to break. After break though, mid chin lock. We're showing Benjamin tossing Kane into the ring post to get him on top. Benjamin hits a big kick, but Kane sits up. He's big booted and clotheslined in the corner. The big side slam, and Kane goes high. Hits the clothesline on the top and then goes for the choke slam, but Shelton reverses it and gets a 2 using the ropes. There's a very weak looking reversal now on a slam, and Shelton hits a corner splash. He's caught on the second though in a choke slam, and we get the familiar red light and voices. Kane's old organ music plays, and out walks Kane. And yeah, well,
What the fuck is it?
Someone should have told this Imposter Kane what you have to do is you have to water down the hair.
Yeah.
I
Because
can't believe Vince was sitting in Gorilla and looked at him and thought, that's all fine, go.
gotta gel and water that hair down because it looks pathetic. You know.
Diana Ross turtle.
Fucking chain reaction Kane walks out. It's not the greatest copycat I've ever seen. I thought it looked a bit like Bertha Faye. That's what I thought it was.
Oh, man.
Imposter Kane hits a weaker looking chokeslam than the one Kane hit on Big
Really
Show.
fell over.
Yeah. He nearly loses his mask as well.
Yeah.
Not quite got this mask down. I reckon he was just in Gorilla and someone went, right, get out.
Get it.
Quick, you!
You're tall. Put this mask on.
Put
And,
this suit on.
yeah, I mean, what's going on? Sam?
I always remember this. Oh God, what the fuck was that? What a puffy wig. I mean, I wet it. I mean, at least. I mean, you could, even the fans, you could tell, were starting to laugh a little bit.
Well, I don't think it quite had the gravitas because it didn't really look like Kane, even though I know that seems silly because it's the bloke in a big suit and he's a big. But that hair really did.
The hair was
If it was wet, you could have got past it a little bit.
I think people would have.
But you always
would have
remember,
liked
here comes Kane with a massive fucking fuzzy wig.
If Kane had come out with Bearer looking like Kevin Keegan, no one would.
That's gotta be Kane. What the fuck happened to his hair? I mean, Vince was on commentary for this as well.
It should. That probably should have done a callback. It would have been clever to be.
That's gotta be Kane.
They've got to be Kane. You know, just JR.
Lights go out and then bang and the big lightning.
Yeah.
There's a lot that you
Call
could
out
do.
Bearer. Kane drags out a concrete block.
we might.
Like when you carry a fridge, when you're big things, you got that.
Yes, Jack.
The match is fine.
Yeah.
Kane's always better with a smaller bloke.
Yeah,
Shelton's very good. It's the debut is terrible because of the wig. If he had a better wig and they give him more time to
Get ready.
perfect just doing the cane walk and doing the head and then the choke slam. That's all he had to do.
Mm.
And he fucked up like 3 of them. So,
Choke slam.
And he only had 3 to do.
yeah, he had like 4 to do. He got out of the ring fight. But that was it. I mean, it really does. It's a terrible debut for an imposter. And he takes so much Luke's fault as the wig and him trying to be a bloke who's...
Without knowing, I don't know whether, they started training him after WrestleMania to get ready for this spot. I very much doubt it, and I very much think that they got to May 19th, thought, we better blow this storyline off with something. You now watched Kane for ages and master it. Although I don't think Kane helped him because I don't think Kane took the chokeslam very well. I mean, they hit it very well as well, but
all you got to do is jump.
Yeah,
jump in the air a bit and he'll help you. And then he fell over.
I half wished he'd just did it on Shelton and then looked at Kane because Shelton might have took it better than Kane.
And then it's a team, Kane and Kane.
Kane and Kane. Yeah, it's the 4 Kanes. They all come out. And one of them's Viscera.
We'll get a blue Kane as well.
We got a blue one and a green one. It's DX Kane.
The same, but green.
Now in green.
So we move forward to the week after, and after fighting Shelton Benjamin and Trevor Murdoch, he gets the other person that we couldn't sacrifice, Lance Cade.
But they're back together now.
Yeah,
when did they split up?
They've been split up a bit.
I don't know, they were split.
No,
I think they were split after when he went and started singing on SmackDown.
Yeah,
Trevor,
and they got fired.
But I realised they'd split on Raw.
Yeah.
Why the fuck did they do that?
I don't know. It's the only tag team they had.
And that was getting over
There was a good team.
Yeah. Trevor Murdoch bashes Kane, says he doesn't need no spooky music. Kane with his big black, Cade rather with his big black hair. He didn't. I don't know. I don't know about his black hair.
Motherfucker though.
He's
Kane,
big bloke.
Jesus Christ! How did he never get a big push?
Why did they just shove him in a mask? And because he's got the hair. So
I've already got the hair, brother. So it was me.
Maybe, and
Is that your rebooking?
No, I haven't literally thought about it until you just said he's a big motherfucker, and I thought, actually, that might
Well, when he was in the ring with Kane, I thought, bloody hell, how come he never really got a big push? Because he's what the love, he's big, he's athletic, he's
I
decent.
think there was probably always hoping, but he was a bit limited on
probably. I mean, he's dead,
and obviously he had his own problems.
When did he die?
2019.
Yeah, late century. I think.
He was with Jericho, and then he got fired, and then he died like a couple of months after.
Was he with Jericho?
Yeah,
they
did the thing when he was feuding with Sean because Sean trained him.
No.
He did have long black hair then.
He had Swagger's theme as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
Swagger's theme with the lyrics.
So
he could have been in the inner circle.
Basically, JR puts over the film, calls Kane being very realistic. Big choke slam from the top. Big clothesline from the top, rather. Choke slam is hit, and another laugh. And that's basically the match. Yeah. With Kane's told that he's waiting for him, so Kane walks off the match. I presume Lance Cade won this match.
Yeah, they do actually.
Count him out.
Did they?
Yeah.
They do, and they announce it.
Fucking hell, they actually just counted him out finally.
He should be the number 1 contender for the Inter then, shouldn't he? By that logic.
I think they've moved on.
Kane is in the back, lights go out. We see Imposter Kane behind him far away. The lights go out again, and every time they flicker, the Imposter Kane gets slowly closer and closer.
Where's the joystick playing as he does?
Eventually, it should have been... Imposter Kane eventually is behind him, chops Kane, throws a bin at him. That's all good movie.
That's for Rob Conway.
Basically just wanders off. I've done my job. I mean, I did like the imagery, the creepy lights, the staggered. But then you go off, die when you just throw a bin at him. Yeah. Like he could have done something with the eye now.
Why they have the hook?
Maybe the hook.
Just through a wall, there was a fake wall.
Again, it's almost like, and I don't think this was quite PG, because I'm sure they have lots of Inferno.
PG was 2008.
Yeah, so that could have done a lot more with.
No, it was this year.
The horror stuff.
With MVP and Kane goes to SmackDown.
Yeah,
that's
what I'm saying.
No, I mean the PG was a couple of years.
Yeah. So they were still doing stuff that. I just think it was a bit of a
It's very strange.
Yeah, horror
I
character.
thought he beat him down a bit worse
Just
than throwing a bin at him.
throw him into a door and throw a bin, and that's it. I'm done now. I'm all right with this.
Yeah. I'll stumble off.
Sam?
Yeah, it was weird. It was good, the thing gradually getting closer, but he could have given him a bit more of an arse kicking than just bin.
I've done my bit now. I'm off.
Yeah.
Jack?
He walk off. Weird.
The match was just a squash match, fine, even though the person being squashed won. And then the backstage,
It was a squish match.
I like to teleport, but the beatdown is bad. And Jerry at the end just says, "I don't know." As he's walking up, he just goes, "I don't know."
That's funny. And then, because every time I watch this, he like gets a break and then he come back on and then we just ignore it. And he'd be like, "Oh, we got Tori Wilson coming out."
He's got to bloody him or something, or properly hurt him. I mean, you're building a horror character. And like you say, he throws a bin at him.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Kane gets the hook as, again, to build up that Kane's now Jacob Goodnight, so he fights him back with a hook.
He's got to wait until his match with Carly at Main.
At least, it just could have been done so much better than this. That's the only way I can explain it. So, we move forward to the 12th of June, 2006, and Kane and Orton are out, as Orton is finding his feet, sort of post-Legend Killer. I know it's still there, but I think he's done the major angles with Taker.
I think he's just come back from suspension as well, or something.
Oh, is this his second strike? This is his second strike that's lasted for years and years and years.
Because I think on the Raw after ECW, they announced he's back on ECW because his SmackDown contract ran out.
Did he wrestle on ECW?
Back on Raw.
Yeah, he fought Angle there at One Night Stand.
Oh, yeah, he's back on Raw.
Yeah, he's back on Raw because he was on SmackDown in the draft in 05. And
this is when they announced it.
Oh, is it? Oh, I thought it was
when
the
he's
one
coming out. They announced he's on Raw now because his SmackDown contract's run out.
Basically, he got suspended. We've got nothing for him on SmackDown. Put him back on Raw. He's going
to float around until Rated RKO turn up.
Yeah, or until Hogan does stop.
Oh, yeah, Hogan, yeah, forgot about
that feather boa. So
Hogan isn't going to SmackDown.
Yeah, Kane hits the big shots in the corner. There's a big standing drop kick, but Kane sits up. Kane now takes it to Orton, and we go through the standard repertoire: big corner clothesline, side slam. Orton is up there to stop the top rope clothesline initially, but a headbutt, and then the clothesline is barely hit. The crowd sense the fake Kane's arrival as Orton holds the ropes to block a choke slam. Kane attacks Orton up the aisle to the stage, and the match is presumably, again, tossed out. Kane blocks the RKO when Imposter Kane, with much better hair, in fairness, is lifted up on the Gangrel Undertaker. The Ministry Undertaker.
He should have had Taker coming.
To the fight in Austin.
You again,
Jack in a row. Been here for years.
The brawl on the stage. Imposter Kane gouges the eyes of real Kane, and Kane is knocked to the floor from the stage. The only thing I will say,
impressive as I thought.
I wish they'd have done the pyro and had pyro around where he dropped in the stage to make it look like he'd burnt him up, like like when he
choke slam him off the stage instead of just hitting him, and he just.
I think there was probably a bit concerned that they really do a good choke slam in the ring, doing it, 9
Well, he could have just grabbed his throat and then pushed him.
Maybe. It certainly could have been done a lot better, which is pretty much. That is yes, everything could be done a lot better. Jack?
Yeah, the match was okay. Obviously, it's just a double count out like everything we can at the moment. I like the elevator thing. They probably could have had light and pyro and smoke and that when it comes up.
And play Gangrel theme.
And then gouging the eye. We've got back to that. We're still here. We're going to cover why.
Why did you do that at the beginning?
And then off the stage, with the imagery of him throwing him off the stage, fine, I understand that. But it could have been done a bit better, but it was probably the best of the 3 that we've seen of him so far.
I like the imagery of him coming up, and I just wish that when he'd gone off, that had done something to show
more
that
as the
Instead of just going to break and then we've got a tag title.
Well, you've
Because,
got
I
to
mean-
build this bloke up to be a monster, so give him a bit more smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, and I just think, going off the stage is a bit blasé, isn't it? We saw Rock and Austin go off the stage against the Ministry, and they was together the week after.
Well, you could have played into the when he did it to Bischoff there, when he choked
choked
and zoomed in on his face.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You could have had playbacks, and
But you just
that's
sort of
true.
saw Kane having a nap. This is just a
I'm
bit
too
weak.
old for this.
So we move forward 1 week to the 19th of June, 2006. June 19th.
This explanation.
Sam just knows what happened. doesn't he? No, so he laughed.
So in the back, right, we get Kane, who's
I was waiting
interviewed
for this.
from the table by JR and King, because they do it over the sort of speed.
I'm not going back there.
JR asks him if he knows who this person is. Kane says he does. A guy who was more screwed up than him, and then he acts scared. Lawler asks what he did, and Kane can't really get the words out, so just wanders off.
Thanks for that, Kane.
He's done things. What things? Things. I'm off now.
That's all you get.
I wish they'd have really gone into a bit more detail and it maybe done more and more promos of this guy is fucking twisted and you've got 1 week now till they get to the fight. And
2
that
weeks
was
till
it.
it's finished.
And obviously, when they was going down the card, Vince went, right, you've got 35 seconds. Explain. What the
Explain it
fuck?
all.
You could have gone into a lot. This is where they could have put a lot of meat on the bones on this guy's fucking mental or whatever. Whatever
A
story.
sit-down promo like they did in Mankind.
Exactly.
3 or 4 segments.
Just
Explaining
to
it.
butt over that the fat crowd should care about this guy. Because they don't, I think the crowd think he's going to be a character that they know. And that can't really work in the storyline that they're telling. He's ain't going to be Jake or Bruce Forsyth.
It's Charlie Hart.
So I just
Charlie on.
yeah, we'll be back for him as well. I just thought it wasn't terrible, but because it only had 30 seconds, he just couldn't do anything with that.
Don't explain it.
No, this was bad.
It was bad.
It was funny bad because it was awful. And I thought it was terrible, the explanation. You know who he is then? Yeah. How the fuck do you know? He's under a mask, for God's sake, in a big bodysuit. Yeah, I know who he is, though.
Yeah,
Who is he
but
then?
I can't-
Well, I can't tell you.
If it's someone
What's
from
he done?
Kane's past, because Kane and Undertaker are these sort of storyline. I mean, they're
biggest
completely
monsters,
stereo.
yeah.
It doesn't matter. You could add like, oh, he's fucking Mama Kane or Granddad Kane or Great Uncle Kane or whatever.
Great
Couldn't have been his mom.
Well, whatever. It
Weird.
doesn't really matter because, like I say,
Paul Bearer.
you can introduce a new character, a new monster, and no one's going to care. But because they didn't explain it, the crowd now just want to know who the fuck's under that mask, and that cannot.
Who's that
they
behind the mask?
know that they can't play that off because if he takes the mask off and he's fucking
Glenn Arnold.
Festus, people are going to go, "What the fuck? Why is Festus?"
Well, he wasn't even Festus at that point, was he?
No, but either way, this is my point.
Freaking
They're going to look at Luke Gallows and go, who is he?
Yeah.
Why do we care? And because they haven't explained that, no one cares. Why are you bothered about this guy? You've got to explain why we should care who we're going to see, and they never do.
No.
So we go forward to Vengeance 2006. Is that right?
Yeah.
And
Hang on.
Kane puts over the mannerisms of the Imposter Kane as he makes... What? I don't understand that. I don't know why I put that. But anyway, Imposter Kane makes his way to the ringside.
It's JR who talks about the
Oh,
mannerism
that's
of
it.
being
I
the same.
I decided Kane said it on commentary for some reason.
Why would Kane be on commentary for his own match?
Don't know.
Just
You know, well,
sit here
it was
for a
just a
while.
load of Kane.
I know how this
Kane.
is going to end. I'm just going to sit here.
Isaac Yankem and Fake Diesel was on commentary and in the ring.
Christmas creature.
JR puts over the mannerisms of the Imposter Kane as he makes his way to the ring. Kane chops him down, but he does the sit-up. Imposter Kane, it's very difficult to write blow to blow because there's so many Kanes.
Yeah.
Imposter Kane with the quotation.
Has Kane down to a T with a backwards bump to the the outside, which
Just
he does
call
well.
him Festus or Gallows.
Kane goes
We know who he is.
Kane goes for the imposter's mask, which again you cannot play off. So why are you doing this? But walks into.
Why did you do this before?
Walks into a side slam. You can audibly hear Jack Doan tell the imposter to ease up. I think Imposter Kane is laying in the fist.
Yeah.
You literally can hear Jack Doan tell him ease up.
Yeah.
The crowd is legitimately, completely and utterly dead. There is no noise at all from the crowd. It's like in Japan.
Yeah.
I think the placement of the card as well, because it's after the world title match, because Rob Van Dam had the belt and the AA going on last. So he fought Edge. And then after this is the big brawl with Cena and Sabu. And then you've got Dad X, are you? So,
Dad X.
Dad X.
So
Dad X versus kids.
So you've got them 4 big matches. If you're going to pick one to have a piss break, it's this one. The horror movie sort of slow feel to it doesn't help as well. It's very slow, and they're trying to get over.
It's like the Taker thing, SummerSlam.
We get Julie Noyes gouges, as JR calls it, an ugly match.
Nice. God, this is ugly.
Kane hits a DDT as we hear boring chants. Then we hear Kane hits his own sidewalk slam. He goes to take the mask off again as we get a take off the mask chant.
Take
that's
your mask.
all that they care about.
Yeah.
They battle up high. Kane tosses the imposter Kane from the top. Big boot by Kane, who goes high but is caught from the clothesline into a choke slam. Imposter Kane does, in fairness, pin Kane a la old Kane.
Yeah, as he used to do.
So, yeah, but, oh, God. I mean,
It's been a weak pin, though, eh?
It is, but I mean, it's a weak finish as well, and it one
Yeah,
choke slam kills.
Yeah, he should have tombstoned him, but maybe he was strong enough.
I don't think that was confident enough
No.
to Festus. He's
Don't drop him.
He's probably too green to play this role. That's the
Yeah.
problem.
Well, I mean, he's 15 years later, and he's starting to get good names.
Yeah,
So in 2006, he wasn't going to have been very good,
Yeah.
was he?
and he was carrying a lot more weight then as well.
Yeah.
So he just weren't going to work, was he?
No.
I think that's it. It's dead for me, even though you can't end it there, because unless Kane is now Kane, and the other Kane has to leave.
You go now.
Yeah. I just think there
I
was
have to go now.
it's so
I'm planning
it's
to
so
speak.
obvious that it's an interesting storyline on the surface, but when Sabu is more interesting, RVD Edge is more interesting, and DX versus the Spirit Squad is more interesting than this. It does kind of show there's no heat. There's literally zero heat on this match.
They've rushed it, but they had so long to build it. But they got to May 19th and forgot what they was doing, so they cobbled this together. And it seems as though they go, well, let's get to the pay-per-view, and then we could just end it there.
Yeah. Well,
They
they
don't.
didn't.
But
Well, I think they wanted to continue it, but because of how dead the crowd were, and they
decided.
they ain't bothered.
Well, that's what Luke Gallows said.
and with what the rumour of this actual story was, wore it as
What
well.
was the rumour?
The rumour was apparently the real Kane was going to retire, and the fake Kane was going to turn out to be the real Kane.
Jesus.
That the fake Kane, that Kane, Glenn, had in prison beat up and took his.
And Taker was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
you, Glenn, when you
Yeah,
was,
and,
when we were
and it was
growing
going to be that the imposter Kane was the real Kane all along. That was the whole
Just to
story.
keep
Just to get
Kane
rid
doing
of Glenn because he was going to retire at this point.
up." I thought
Still
Kane at
going
this
down.
point,
Yeah, exactly.
he had a world title in 2 years. I think
Yeah.
Kane at this point is probably as good as Kane ever was, because I think
Yeah.
Kane, when he was Kane, was still green, wasn't he? So
Yeah.
you know what I mean. And he wasn't green; he was red. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He was still very
Well, around
good.
this point was when when the character had really got a feel for not having the mask.
Yeah, exactly.
because
Yeah,
It sort of got
You'd
used
done the
to not
mask
having
and
the
it got
mask.
used, and then that was the way of getting a new wrinkle on it, or
Which I don't mind. There is ways of adding wrinkles to a completely out of the world sort of Kane and stuff.
yeah.
A lot better than what they do.
Mm.
I just thought it was. I think the match was slightly better than I remembered it. I didn't really have too much issue bell to bell. And if you listen to it on silent, it would be fine. But when you listen to it and there is silence and you're expecting
Yeah,
some it impacts your thoughts on the match. I don't think it
You'd
was,
think this match happened now.
Yeah, but because of that,
Where's the
I've always
Thunder
said
now?
sometimes a good crowd can make a bad match seem better, and because this crowd just hated it, and the match wasn't that good anyway. It was terrible. That's just the truth. It was terrible. And apparently Luke Gallows got to the back, and they said he had a good match. It was a good match, but they was killing it. They said, that's it. We're going to kill
Good match.
now. Because they just thought there is no reaction to this. And again, it is indicative of WWE, because that could have just been placement on the card. Could have been because they could have looked at it and gone, have we not built it enough? So do we need to add heat?
Considering
instead they went, no.
Fake Kane has appeared on the 29th 3 times. We only added not really an explanation the week of the show.
There's so
Go
many,
out there and have a good match.
Yeah, so many reasons.
Knock him dead, kid.
So
good match.
We have reached.
We're killing you,
we have reached our last stop, and it is the 26th, the night after. And Kane, after being beaten by Imposter Kane, is fine and dandy for Kane versus Randy 2. Barely a mention as they head out for about Kane's loss last night. Kane chops down Orton in the corner.
I liked Orton's entrance though. Because he come out, because this was the one when the shit was dropped on Vince for it, and Orton was the only one smelling it. And the commentary was, yeah.
He come out and he goes, whoa, yeah. It just takes a shit out of
and that's when Lawler was going, is that shit flammable? We catch fire.
Brilliant.
Kane didn't care. I've already been through shit like that. I didn't need it dumped on me.
Orton hits a drop kick to the knee of Kane. Kane grabs him and teases a choke slam, but a thumb to the eye, and a drop kick by Orton gives him a 2. Big boot to Orton, side slam by Kane, up high for a clothesline for the setup. Choke slam is teased, and eventually we get the arrival of Imposter Kane. Kane carries on the match after laying the imposter out outside, which allows Randy Orton to hit his RKO, which isn't quite as crisp as his current RKOs, for the 3. Kane is an arse, though. He battles Imposter Kane, hits him with a huge choke slam and another, as the crowd again chant take off the mask, or take your mask. Imposter Kane tries to crawl away as JR asks where this Kane was at Vengeance. Another choke slam on the steel stage, which does look like it would have
bounced.
Kane drags the Imposter Kane out.
Good method.
And after the break, basically we're backstage with Kane taking Imposter Kane's mask, and we see it's just a bald bloke.
It's Ben! I thought he's got your head.
You did look a bit like my head.
Why was you stalking Kane in 2006?
I'll explain it in my book. I'll explain how it should have finished. But yeah, and then he throws me out the building and takes my mask. And Kane has won the feud. I'll just put that was crap. I mean, the match was fine, to be honest. I'm glad Randy Orton went over, because, God, he was lost at this point.
Yeah,
he still comes off the worst.
Yeah, exactly. But
I got to wait for Hogan.
Such an example of WWE just not getting behind a storyline that they want to book in the first
place.
I
mean, the night before, it was the night before, yeah. He couldn't fucking get near that Kane, and he died off one choke slam. This night, he come out and he just went, fuck off, I'm fighting. Then he kills him. You don't get one shred of offense, and then I know it's because they're killing the character off. Okay,
but at least you could have built that for a couple of weeks, even if you know he's going to die. At least give us Kane as the old Kane. Then he's rediscovered the old Kane or something.
You could have did it another month, because what is it, July, they don't have a Raw pay-per-view, do they? So they could have just had a run of where we're going to see if we can get it back on track.
Is the bash.
The bash ain't after. So they can see if we're going to get it back on track, and if it do, then we'll kill it off.
Yeah.
Does he do anything at SummerSlam, Kane?
No, I don't think he's on the show.
So you could have just let it run, see where it goes. If it's still not getting the reactions, which I think it would have, because they reacted to everything.
He goes to SmackDown at the end of the year. He loses to Umaga on Raw, and the loser leaves Raw.
That's what I mean. This did nothing for Kane at all, and this is a storyline where he's fighting anonymous. Like, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter who known him. You could have just gone exactly. That's basically what it was. So you could have put all the heat on Kane, and he could have gone, back to being old Kane or, mega face, mega heel, whatever way you want it to. And then he comes out worse for this, and he's featured in a feud with himself.
Yeah.
It's just,
the fact he took his hair as well, not just the man.
That's my hair.
That's mine.
You stole my hair.
I thought the storyline was pretty rubbish. It's not exactly the easiest rebook with the May 19th element. Some people might have just removed it. And
I've kept a date.
I've removed the imposter.
And I've put that, the unmasking angle couldn't really pay off, and it was an unmasking storyline.
Yeah.
That was what they built. But who's under the mask?
You still don't
but
know.
We can't really tell you. So
if we show you his face, you're all going to go, who did?
So
why is he with Jesse?
I suppose that leaves us to round it out then with match of the night, Sam. Or match of the run.
Match of the
Not
run.
a night.
Someone? The SmackDown match? The only SmackDown match?
2 for that. Kane v. On May 19th. Kane v. Ray.
Look, in reality, it's Ray, but I'm picking chain wrestling Kane Big Show. It's amazing. I loved it.
Worst match of the run.
Oh, it's got to be the chain wrestling. I'm having a mental breakdown. You've gouged my eye. Let's do a top wrist lock.
I put Imposter Kane versus Kane because there was at least some reactions from the crowd in the Big Show Kane chain wrestling, which was mainly, what are they doing? Dad, I'm scared. What they're doing?
I think you just need to
turn it off.
Splice in Skeletor. What?
But I mean, it's a very good shout. As both the best and the worst. Jack?
Backlash. I hate it. Backlash.
You don't like Backlash? I thought that was middle ground.
Big Show Kane is the best and worst man. I've just realised.
MVP of the run? I'd put Kane. I mean,
it's got to be Kane. He's had a lot.
He was so strong because he come off looking poor, but my God, other people would have died.
Yeah,
Big Show would have died. If he fought himself.
If they'd have done this with the Fiend early into the Fiend, they'd have killed the Fiend.
Kane's already had somebody saying he had sex with a dead body at this point.
He's a bit Teflon, isn't he?
Yeah, he's just
can't kill Kane.
Yeah, we'll accept.
He's got that corner pyro. Though. We love it.
Okay.
LVP. I'll put Imposter Kane.
Yeah, Imposter Kane. I mean, my God, poor bloke.
Yeah, I think
Could have been a decent character.
You want to say Joey Styles, don't you?
Well, game it.
Todd Grisham.
I'm not too keen on Todd Grisham.
I know you.
And my bottom line for the whole thing was the storyline that was never wanted. Anyone want to chop that with your final thought? Yeah, Sam, what's your final thought?
I'm trying to think of one, but it's taking a while.
Yeah, just why is he fighting himself?
Yeah, well,
why is he dressed as Kane?
We never found it.
We booked something, we forgot we'd booked.
Yes.
And now we've got to finish it.
Well, we have to finish it because we're now taking the task. The three of us.
Here it is.
Of rebooking May 19th and doing it better. I'm going to actually change the normal standard running order, and I'm going to open with Jack this time for his May 19th 7-page rebooking.
May 19th rebooking.
Yes.
Right, we start WrestleMania 22. They defeat Carlito and Chris Masters. I don't need to tell you that because that happened. But there you go.
Yeah, but you also booked that.
April. The Spirit Squad win a tag team turmoil match with one other team who's on Raw at this point. Not really. There's like 5 teams, whatever. I don't know. And they become number 1 contenders for the tag titles at Backlash. An interview with Kane and the Big Show backstage about the match, and then Todd Grisham says to Kane about his film coming out on June 23rd. But it's got to change because it's got to tie into something that happened on June 23rd.
June 23rd?
Yeah.
It's not got a ring to it like May 19th.
I know, but nothing happened on May 19th.
June 23rd. It's happening again.
Something happened on June 23rd in Kane's past. Right? When he says June 23rd...
Do you think if we keep saying June 23rd, it'll actually get out?
He don't know that...
Maybe in Ukraine it will.
It fucking would. Kane didn't know it was coming out on June 23rd, whatever.
Okay.
But when he says
I'm
June
in this
23rd...
film, I don't know when he's coming out.
Kane's going to snap and he's going to grab Todd. Not Big Show. He's going to grab Todd and Big Show's going to go, "What the fuck are you doing, you tit? He's just a fucking interviewer. Stop being a tit." Come on, let's go.
I'll get you.
Fucking glide. Calm down. And he goes, all right, go on then, we'll go get some chicken. Backlash. And,
weird rebooking
they
stuff.
lose. I didn't write go get chicken there. They
have a lovely cat.
lose the tag titles because Kane snaps.
Yeah.
Because Jerry Lawler, he hits Jerry Lawler on commentary. Say, mate, June 23rd.
See, this is why you should stay at May 19th.
June 23rd.
Yeah.
You're
So he snaps on Lawler, and then Big Show loses in the ring.
Okay.
Right, backstage on a Raw after, he apologises to Big Show and Jerry Lawler. I'm sorry.
I'm tired.
I just don't like that date. Rematch tonight for the belts.
just don't like your
Let's go get those fucking pointless tag titles back from those cheerleaders.
And then we go and have chicken.
And then we're going to go and have some chicken. But they lose because the squad...
Well, then the chicken. I get the chicken.
The squad outside used the cone.
Brilliant.
Because I love the cone.
The whole thing.
So,
What about the trampoline?
I don't know whether this finish is relevant, but he has put a finish.
I have, because I used the cone to say June 23rd, brother.
Okay.
And he goes,
how
"What the
brother."
fuck? Who said that? Bitch! I'm going to fucking chase you. And Big Show's like, I tapped it again. And Kenny and Mikey win. It's going to be Kenny and Mikey as well, because they're actually alright. Later in the show, still the same show, Kane is found rocking back and forth.
Mm.
And Big Show's like, what the fuck's up with you? Get some chicken. What's up with you on June 23rd?
Yeah.
Right,
Okay,
June
so he said
23rd.
it.
So he
Yeah.
said it, and then Kane snaps and beats him, and he can gouge his eye.
Yeah.
Wait! Not just with the finger, though. With his thumbs as well. And then May till June. I can't remember that shit. May till June, he's going to feud with the Big Show. And I'm telling you, Big Show's got to wear an eye patch.
Yeah, but he caught chain wrestle. Not at this
No,
point.
they ain't chain wrestling. Show's got to wear an eye patch for
Okay.
a few weeks. You've got to sell the fact
Scotty
that
Riggs,
Big
Big
Show. Well, I mean, it's gouge's eye. I mean,
Does he
can't
come
just
out
and look normal?
Did he come out on a boat?
So it's got that pirate. His pirate Paul comes out, and he fights Big Show in a no holds barred match on Raw and wins. Okay, there you go. June 19th, interview with Lawler on the Tron. Right?
Yeah.
Lawler refuses to go backstage and interview,
He's
and they
creepy.
explain the significance of the date. Right?
What is it?
No, you don't know the actual thing.
Oh.
It's going to explain things, right? It's his birthday, for one. It's not, but it is for the character, right?
Jeez.
That isn't just it, it's my birthday.
I'm actually going to have
shit.
a look when his birthday is.
It's like in April.
Is it?
Yeah. I couldn't
Have you
use
looked
April.
this up?
Yeah, I looked it up.
Did
I
you?
looked up at things for this date, right? It's also the date his parents died in the fire, right? Okay,
Yeah.
we'll let that. We'll throw that in.
Yeah.
So it's a traumatic date for me.
Yeah, you
and
would.
it's my birthday. So I don't like celebrating my birthday because it's fucking, that's when my parents
Look
died.
at that
Bastards.
face when he's explaining
So,
it.
no, Kane was like that when I was explaining this to him. You ain't got it all yet because something else happened on
I'll
this
be
day.
there soon.
Kane and Murdoch interrupt in the ring while this interview's going on, and they don't give a damn. Right?
Yeah.
We don't give a damn.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't need no spooky I don't give a shit about that. We got a match. Snitsky and Goldust are gonna beat you.
Tom Hanks.
And they beat him in a match. So Kane and Murdoch beat Snitsky and Goldust.
Book that.
Kane out. And they run off with out of here. So at Vengeance, which
So
is
I got out
June
of it.
25th.
God,
Yeah. June 23rd was a SmackDown as well. I'm going to be on that.
Struggling.
June
What the
25th.
shit has happened
He's
here?
fighting Kane and Murdoch.
Why does this matter?
Right. He fights Kane and Murdoch at Vengeance.
Right.
We have an interview
Yeah.
with Kane
Yeah.
before, and he says, the date passed. You know, I was watching SmackDown at
I
home
think, shit, I got the wrong
with my
date.
fire on, and I thought, oh, that's a great show. Booker T beat Bobby Lashley or something. That was great. Right, so he beats Kane and Murdoch at Vengeance. He's going to do the chokeslam spot where he chokeslams them a lot. So
Yeah.
the crowd's going to be happy. And he's like, wait! Interviewing backstage, and he's interrupted by Shane McMahon.
Okay.
Oh, see, now you're all intrigued, like, what the fuck's he done here? He's gone mad. And Shane goes, whoa! I know we've had our differences. You electrocuted my testicles for
Yeah.
one. But I've got you a late birthday present. Because I heard it was your birthday.
Okay.
And it's in your locker room, right? Go and have a look. Main event. DX beat Spirit Squad after Kane. Shane's out with Vince and everything, and then Kane's up through the ring in his mask, because that was his present. Right?
Has he got his hair?
He's got his mask back on.
Yeah.
No, he'll have the hair. I did think, maybe not the hair, give him a new wrinkle. No, he's got the mask back on.
Yeah.
He's got to have a shirt. It's going to look weird if he's just got the mask and no shirt.
Yeah.
Weird stripper.
With his belly button.
Right, June. Raw after. I told you it was shit. I couldn't think of a lot. Night after, Kane with Shane and Vince. They explained June 23rd was the day that Kane was born. Also the day that Kane, the monster, died. Because that was the date that he took the mask off.
I thought it was June 23rd.
Oh,
That's what's it.
yeah, that's the date.
I thought you said 24th.
June 23rd was the date he took the mask off.
Okay.
And who was responsible for him taking the mask off?
Yeah. Yeah, you
Triple
believe
H.
Ignore that it was RVD, really. But it was Triple H, right? And they reminded him of that, Shane and Vince. And they reminded him of his monster. We should celebrate that date.
Well, there is Bishop.
And they say, actually,
he also has ignored the fact that Vince tried to put him in a mental institution.
no, we'll have that.
Back in
Fried freak. We love you now, though. Go and beat up these people. We're only that cheerleader.
You jumped on my wife.
June 25th. Does this end with Kane in an Hell in a Cell with his arse out and Vince's head up his arse?
But it might end in hell in itself. June 25th will be his new date that we celebrate as his birthday. It's the rebirth of the Monster Kane, and he's with Vince and Shane fighting DX now. Okay. Shane and Vince reminded Kane of who he is and responsible, removing the mask of Triple H, blah blah blah. Let's beat up Dad X. So we feud with Dad X for a while. You can choke slam Triple H off a stage. At SummerSlam, Kane, Vince and Shane beat DX. Right. September to Unforgiven. DX get a little bit more serious because I don't want them running around doing hot dog things outside and spray painting things and
where's Mr. Food?
Cock and all this shit. So come on, get a bit more serious, you shit. Which leads to 3-on-2 again, but this time it's where it all began for Kane. Hell in a Cell with one Shawn Michaels as well, because Shawn was obviously there when he debuted.
Yeah.
So it's Kane, Shane, and Vince versus DX in the cell. DX win.
That's it.
Well, our call continue forever until he takes the mask
I
off.
wouldn't. When does he become mayor?
So in 2011, I'll go up to. If I get your teaser's a clue.
So May
There you
19th
go.
has been rebooked to June 23rd.
June 23rd, no imposter. So
At least I'm happy enough with the explanation that was when he lost his mask.
Yeah.
Nothing
Okay,
else.
it made sense.
So mine starts after Mania because I didn't book Mania. I allowed it to stay exactly the same.
Well, I did as well, but I thought I'd reference it.
I actually booked a little bit in Magni.
Ooh, Kane's pyro doesn't go off after he does the hand drop. Then he starts. Then he starts to see messages that indicate his past. So a Kane mask and a burnt doll and
The
all
dentist
these sorts
chair.
of- Yeah.
One black glove. Smell my glove.
It freaks him out to the point of madness and he loses the tag team titles. A week later, May 19th appears on the Tron and it says Kane is coming. Big Show tried to calm Kane down.
I don't want to see that.
But
Where's Val? That's Val's gimmick.
yeah, maybe I would reword that.
Kane's having a wank.
Kane is arriving.
See how we.
But I would have the real feud sort of happen. Kane snaps, takes out the Big Show. Backlash, Kane versus Big Show in a brawl. Kane wins. Kane now still can't start the fire.
We should start the fire.
But he just sort of leaves it.
Yeah.
We still keeps getting tormented by these sort of messages. But Kane starts hyping his movie, but still can't do the pyro. Gets special writings on the wall and creepy stuff like little kids go, "Oh, May 19th." All that
In
sort
his
of
match.
stuff. Yeah, rocking back 2 twins at the end of
It
does all the
all workers don't play makes Kane a dull boy.
So, on SmackDown on May the 19th, Undertaker would be in a match. No Khali, no debut of Khali. That has been postponed. We've looked at him. He can't wrestle yet. And Kane's music would hit at the end of Undertaker's match with whoever, Tatanka, whatever. And a fully geared up Kane would appear and attack the Undertaker, a la bad blood.
Yeah.
Tombstoning, this writes off Taker for a bit. Kane would explain it's not him.
It was me.
He would say, though, that the real Kane is scarier than he ever was. So that's his explanation. He's not the real Kane. The real Kane, scarier. When am I lost this?
That's it.
That's it. End of story. At Vengeance, Kane would be scheduled to face Orton, but would be laid out backstage, and new Kane appears. He destroys Randy Orton. Kane is in the build to SummerSlam. Would explain that Kane, this is getting confusing, is his friend from school who was disfigured in a fire when he was younger. Kane was always jealous of the attention he got whilst his friend was being bullied and stuff. Kane, his other friend, never got any attention. So even though he was getting bullied, the freak, Kane.
Because now he's confused as which Kane is which now.
So, little burnt Kane isn't real Kane.
Right.
Real bull Kane is looking at burnt Kane going, why are you getting all the attention? Because you're getting bullied. No one cares about me. I'm your mate, but no one gives a shit about me. I'll just be afterthought. So yeah, that's the explanation. It was his friend who was being bullied, who was ignored. They got into a fight on May 19th. This is way back when.
Let them fight.
And his friend beat him up, and he set fire to the funeral home,
He lost a fight.
killing his parents because he was crackpot. This other Kane was, right. But Kane used this to his advantage because he then covered himself in bandages, acted like he was burnt, and then started to get the attention because everyone cared about the little burnt kid. And he took the blame for the fire and blah blah blah, and he was off to the races. He knew deep down inside Kane was a liar. The fire would erupt, and then Kane in 1997. This is him explaining it in the ring. Fire would erupt. Kane on the Tron, 1997. Kane, that's important. Would appear on the Tron and get angry at Kane stealing his life and his movie roles and not being the monster that he could have been.
Was this right with a thingy?
Yeah, I'll put that actually. All this is done through a voice box.
Oh,
That was my
go.
next line. These promos would last 2 weeks, but each time we would see a different version of Kane. So the next one on the Tron would be Black and Red Kane. Reverse Kane.
Okay.
What's it called?
Bizarro.
Bizarro Kane.
Do we get singlet?
We would get Katie Vick
What about
Kane as well. He would be sleeping with a corpse and all that. Finally, Imposter Kane would challenge Kane, and all of this is voice box.
Yeah.
Would challenge Kane to a match at SummerSlam, an Inferno match. Kane, no, too scared of you. You bastard, you crazy. I ain't fucking fighting you.
No.
Taker would return. Big brother Taker goes, I'll sort you out, mate. I'll look after you. So we text the match at SummerSlam. At SummerSlam, Taker would beat Imposter Kane when his arm is on fire, a la the original Inferno match. But Imposter Kane looks at the arm and decks Taker with his burning arm. So it doesn't give a shit. Nice imagery. I don't give a shit. Talking, I burn me, doesn't matter. And he would do a twitch and he'd lay Taker out.
Which
And look at him. Kane's laugh would be heard, and after this, after the fire's been put out as well, because I mean we need to sort out the man is burning. Off comes the mask, and under the mask,
Great Carly.
is Kane. It was Kane
all
all.
along.
Kane would explain that the story was true. He did envy his friend at school, and he did make he did make the scars up because of his friend. But the fight that they had, Kane beat the living shit out of disfigured little poor boy Kane and put him into hospital, and that's the explanation for that. And then he set fire to the funeral home to take the scars from that guy and blame it on him and all that sort of stuff. And then you're off to the races with the Kane and Undertaker feud.
Right.
Again.
It all begins again. Sam.
Right. Mine. What?
St. George Steele's in it.
Right.
During the Mania tag title match, you would see the lights flash. You wouldn't hear the voices, but you just have the flash of the lights and you'd see the mask on the screen. Kane would see it, and he'd just be like a little flash thing. They would still win. Big Show.
Big Show.
Yeah. He can win the match. Obviously, Kane's a bit disorientated by it. The next night, you would have the same thing, the tag title thing with the Spirit Squad. Kane don't just bugger off for a bit. You would see the but you'd hear the voices this time. You'd see the lights flashing. You'd see the mask, and Big Show would get pinned because Kane gets confused, disorientated, and walks off. Then you'd see Kane backstage. You wouldn't hear the voices yourself, but again, he'd be muttering the May 19th, and he'd be really disorientated. Big Show, well, what's this?
What's this?
What is it? Trying to say, what is it? What's
I
this?
told you, no more
What's
BS.
this May 19th thing? And Kane would just attack him. Wouldn't say, don't say that, Dad. He'd just attack him, go for his eye, and what have you. Because if you want to link the film, and I haven't mentioned the film.
He'd whip out his 9-foot cock, slap me round the face.
No, don't ask me again. I've warned you.
Don't ask me that again.
What a baby.
That'd be a backlash. You would have a match, but it wouldn't actually happen. Big Show, Kane would be in the ring. Big Show would come down. Kane would just go and attack it, and it wouldn't really be a match. He'd just completely attack him, bludgeon him, whatever, throw him off the stage, whatever, and that'd be it. You wouldn't have a match. You wouldn't have the voices. You wouldn't have the voices stopping because he got smacked in the head with a chair. Anything like that.
I've got to put him out
So
of misery, man.
it'd just be a good match.
Dude, with a chair.
He would do an explanation saying that that's when his parents died. Well, his mum and family.
Yeah, his mum
Died.
and others.
Yeah, died in the fire.
But not cause of it.
Not because he suppressed the memories for so long
Yeah.
to try and explain why only in 2006 this mattered.
Yeah.
So, every May 19th, hopefully if you could try and rebook it later on, don't have him appear if there's a show on May 19th. He's trying to express it. And on May 19th on SmackDown, he would attack Taker during a match with whoever, not Carly.
Dicks.
He can fight the Dicks if he wants, whatever.
One
But
dick.
he attacks Taker, and he would say he's always suppressing the memories, but he's never forgiven Taker for killing him because Taker admitted it back in '99.
He plays that clip and everyone remembers it.
Yes,
No one
because he
remembers
said,
it.
"Look, you was messing about or something, and you killed
He
us."
gets his book out. And he goes,
Yeah.
look, page 72.
Look, I'm trying to link about 4 different stories with him here.
Yeah.
So he says he's never forgiven Taker deep down. He's tried to move forward, but he's never been able to, like when they was tagging together and whatever. So they have the match at Vengeance.
When we fought Chronic.
Yes, and DDP, I did all your bidding, but deep down I hated it.
I had no problem with Canyon.
And then at Vengeance, they do have a match. Kane would actually win because he just beats the crap out of Taker. So can't he get the 2010
Yeah, no, he needed a
into
good
2006.
He needed a good beating.
Yeah, he did at that point. So we'd beat him. Kane would win, but the voices and all this would still carry on. And he's, it still sets him off. Taker and Kane would start attacking each other on Raw and SmackDown during their matches. So that, you did the gong and the lights, and same with Kane. They'd carry on up until SummerSlam, and they would actually have a casket match against each other then. Prior to the match, it would actually be revealed that Paul Bearer was behind the voices and the mask coming up because he wants to get revenge on Taker for burying him in concrete in 2004.
You did try and kill me.
Yeah.
I'm the face.
Yeah, so he's behind it,
Mistake
and
about that.
obviously he's setting off his son because obviously he looked after his son after the fire.
Yeah.
He had to look after him. Basically trying to link all this back.
It was
together.
burnt, Yeah,
Yeah, he was burnt.
I
Doing
sorted
all
all them burns out.
So the match would happen. Ken would lose the casket match. Bearer would be there at ringside, and he would try and attack Taker, and say like he's manipulating Kane to try and get back at Taker for burying him when he brought Taker back to who he should be. Then Taker and Kane would actually put Bearer in the casket at the end, and they would,
Bury the concrete.
No, bury the concrete.
It's like meeting repulsor.
No,
it always ends up in the bin.
No, they'd put it in the casket at the end, and they'd do the pose that they do.
Yeah.
Because then in 2010, when Kane and Taker was feuding, Kane opened the casket, and there you got Bearer. So you could link that back. That Bearer was there.
It just stayed there. He had a long
It stayed there. So it's basically that's how Bearer could come back for them. He's always manipulating the two against each other. Basically, the whole Brothers Destruction feud is Bearer's fault.
Yeah, you little
so this
bastard.
is how he's linked it all with Kane's mom basically dying, and he's who we thought was his dad, but it's Bearer who's his dad. So
Bearer
trying to
all
link
along.
Taker from 99 to 2004 to 2010 all into this.
Taker beat Kane in the casket match.
Yeah, but Kane
And then
would
Kane come back out.
Yeah, Kane
And then
would,
they put
instead,
Bearer in
yeah,
it.
he would
And
come
then
back
they
out
hugged.
because Bearer would be berating Kane. You lost, you know.
In the
all
casket, while he's in the casket.
Well, he'd
On the casket.
he'd be having a good Taker and stuff. Why are you burying me?
and
But
then Kane
Kane
comes
would
back
come
out.
out from behind him.
I thought he was going to
Like he'd say, like he's manipulating all this because Taker don't want to do this, and that's how you get Kane to realise, you know. And then he put Taker in vegetative state in 2010. That I can't explain.
And it all
But I tried
begins
to
again.
link it all together. It's Bearer's fault.
And if you want some detail as to why Paul Bearer was in a concrete crypt, don't forget to check out our upcoming podcast in June as we review 2004's Great American Bash. But that is our attempt at rebooking. If you feel that you could have done Kane versus Kane better than us,
We didn't do Kane versus Kane.
you couldn't. But head over to our website now, which is bettercallcreative.com, or our Twitter page, which is BCCPod. Give us a like and a follow there. Or our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/BCCPod. We round out the episode, as we always do, with a fantasy card. And as this is Imposter season, we took the challenge to rebook 6-match card featuring imposters. People playing other characters or lampooning other characters or anything of that nature. We will be quite loose with our acceptance.
I've done real versus the imposter.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
I understand. I haven't, but that's fine. That works with me. So I've got 12 different imposters. But yeah, we've got real versus imposters. So I'm going to throw to Sam first as he rounded out our rebooking. So
Right.
open our fantasy
My
card.
first match is a fatal 4-way tag match. It's
Jesus Christ.
the LOD versus Demolition
Yeah.
versus the Powers of Pain
Yeah.
versus the Ascension, which basically was apparently all copies
Yeah.
of LOD.
Yeah, that was
And
the
Demolition
Abomination,
again.
wasn't it? Demolition.
Demolition
won.
going out. Of course they are.
Charbelian won. My first match, and I'm standing by this, and I don't care what you say, is Sting, Crow Sting, because he is a rip-off of Fake Sting. Because Fake Sting debuted before Crow Sting as White Face Sting. So Sting,
Well,
after
Fake
all
Sting
this
was still
time,
Surfer Sting.
yeah, but when he fought him, he was Crow Sting. He was White Face Sting in the War Games. So Sting,
But he was still in his surfer attire.
But what I'm saying is, Sting copied Fake Sting. So Sting is the copy here. He's the one we can do without.
copied a copy of himself.
Yeah, Sting copied his own copy. So Sting versus the Great Mutter, who, if you know anything about Japanese wrestling, fought the Great Mutter in I think it was about a 3 or 4 match sort of feud. They had Great Mutter, who was called Kenji Muto at that point, fighting a bloke who was dressed as the Great Mutter. And I'm putting over
Had that
Mutter.
or not, you're in Japan.
I'm putting over Mutter. Because fuck Sting.
Well, no, you hate Sting.
Anyway, I can bury Sting. The fake Sting I would add. I'm going to put it over. You're not even real Sting.
My first match is a 1-on-3 handicap match. It's Sting versus Sting, and Sting, which is Sting, Jeff Jarrett,
Yeah.
Sting, Fake Sting, and Sting, Heath
Real
Slater.
What about Eric Young?
I was going to have Eric Young, but I thought Heath Slater's better
That's true.
because
but
Heath Slater dressed as
He's scared Triple H.
So, and I'm putting over the fake Stings for Ben.
Quite rightly so.
My next match is Matt Bourne versus Ray Apollo. The Battle of Doinks.
Oh, yeah.
Heel Doink versus Fake Doink. Face Doink.
And Brawler. Get Brawler in.
And you could have
No,
had
no.
Y2J as well. You could have had a Fatal 4 here.
And
The 4
was
dogs.
it Skinner?
And Mo. And Mabel. And
No.
Dude.
But that was the
Eight
main
Man Battle
ones.
Royal.
That was the main ones. I was going to just put Doink be Doink. Face Doink be heel Doink. And it's got to be heel Doink. Because that's the best Doink.
Of course.
Best Doink.
Slightly stealing my thunder, my next match is Cyclope, which is Dean Malenko, versus Doink, which is Y2J, versus Sin Cara Dark, which was
Honecker.
the one that became Sin Cara Light. And I'm going to put over Cyclope.
Okay.
My next match, Goldberg v Gilbert.
The match no one
No,
wanted.
I put over Gilbert.
I'm putting over Goldberg, obviously, because Goldberg wouldn't turn up.
You should have had Oldberg as well. Like Goldberg peak, Oldberg gravy.
Shorts, Goldberg, man.
Short Goldberg. My next match is the Warrior versus the Renegade.
Yeah, I thought he might appear.
And I'm going to put over Warrior because he wouldn't turn up otherwise.
Well, he'd probably hold you up for some money anyway.
Probably.
My next match is Los Conquistadors, Edge and Christian, taking off the real Conquistadors, versus the world's greatest tag team as the APA, which is...
Yeah, they did dress up as them before Vengeance.
Did they?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Was it Vengeance?
You can't remember that.
No, it wasn't
No,
You've got to
Vengeance.
watch
It was...
that
I've watched it in 2003 because Charlie Oss plays Ron and Shelton plays Fred.
It's just
That's
brilliant.
brilliant.
It's just absolutely brilliant.
That's comical, dude. Yeah, I like it.
I put it over Los
I'm going to
Conquistadors.
reserve that.
I don't think it's actually before Vengeance. I think it's before No Mercy or something like that.
I can't remember.
Because I've watched all
Brawl.
of 2003 and I think it's around
That's brilliant.
Vengeance is the barroom brawl.
I'm gonna
We'll be
find
back for that.
That's amazing. My next match is Razor and Diesel versus Fake Razor and Fake Diesel.
Oh, I swear.
And Razor and Diesel go over.
My next match is Fake Razor and Diesel versus Real Razor and Diesel.
That's what I did.
Yeah,
I was switching and saying,
He's done it the other way.
I've done it anyway. And Real Razor and Diesel win.
That's right.
They went through on
Away legs, away goals.
No way, got penalties.
My next match is the Nation of Domination, as played by DX,
No.
blackface and all, versus the Horsemen, played by the
Paul
NWO.
Roma. Yeah.
Fake Horsemen,
The four
the
street
ones
ones.
no one wanted. No, played by the NWO, so Arn Anderson and all. And I will put over the Nation of Domination.
My next match is a women's match. Women.
It's got women.
It's Trish Stratus versus Mickey James.
Mhm.
When she
I
was
did dress up
Trish.
as a...
And I'll put over Mickey because the
I'm sure
Fake
Trish
need
dressed
to win.
up as Mickey as
Yeah,
well.
he did.
Yeah,
That's a weird gimmick. Anyway.
Strange. My semi-main event is Undertaker versus Underfaker,
Yeah.
which I think we've all probably got. And I think I know what the last two matches will be.
Yeah.
And I'm putting over Undertaker because I'm not putting over Brian Lee.
There you
Poor
got your
Brian
main
Lee.
event.
You always got to have Brian Lee in the main event. So.
Brian
No.
Lee's on. He's
Semi-main event Brian Lee. Semi-Brian Lee. No. All
So
right.
my sub-main event is Fake Diesel and Fake Razor versus Renegade and Stone Cold Shark Boy.
Oh,
What a team.
I hate it. What?
He was great at Austin.
I was going to have Matt
What? But it was a
McGee's
gimmick
mouth
on a gimmick.
Yeah.
and Shark Boy, but I thought
They was a real team.
there's
Yeah, there was.
something quite nice about Shark Boy as Stone Cold and Renegade, which is very
There's
lethal.
just something about Renegade.
But I am putting over Fake Diesel and Fake Razor because they deserve a win on this one podcast.
God knows the day with their own bloody podcast.
My next match is out of the realms of reality, which is wrestling, which is Jason, Freddy, and Leatherface versus Jason, Freddy, and Leatherface Japan.
Oh, I was there. Well, Freddie was Memphis.
Well, Freddy was Memphis, but
Jason was
The
decent.
movie characters are the real ones.
they're real. They're the real ones, which are fake, but they're real, fighting the fake version.
That's even more confusing than my Sting explanation of how Sting is the lampoon of himself.
And I'm putting over the real Jason, Freddy, and Leatherface.
Quite rightly so. Jason
Which
X.
is fake.
I could have
My
had
main
Jason.
event is Kane versus Kane, and I'm putting over Kane.
Why
Which one?
I
Just
would
leave it at there.
Your imagination.
Yeah, leave it there hanging. My main event is Imposter Kane versus Fake Undertaker. Brian Lee main event has to be.
Brian Lee v. Luke Gallows.
I'm putting over Brian Lee. You don't get enough love in the main event scene. I think Brian Lee was more ready for his spot than
I'd agree
Gallows.
with that at that point. My main event is the real Kane and Undertaker versus the fake Kane and Undertaker. So main event Brian Lee twice.
Yes.
And I'll bring over Kane and Undertaker. Kane's fought twice. He's been an imposter on the card as Diesel, and then he's been real Kane.
He was knackered.
That's very confusing.
I've got to take all this shit off and then put my makeup on.
He probably played Voorhees as well. To be fair. So there
Probably
you
true.
have it. If you can think of any other fakes from wrestling's past, do let us know again at our website, which is bettercallcreative.com, or our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/BCCpod. The same hashtag at Twitter, which is at BCCpod. Give us a like and a follow there. Don't forget to vote on Jack's polls. So that rounds out the episode. You can, however, experience See No Evil on May 19th with us, as we are doing a special one-off watch-along film edition of Better Call Creative, as we give you the audio commentary to See No Evil on May 19th, no less. So do join us there. And then coming up to round out the month, because I'm switching them around, is going to be Capital Combat 1990 as RoboCop debuts in WCW. And then, don't worry, Sam, because the podcast after that is your choice.
Yeah.
As your birthday is on a special date, which is the 7th of June.
Yes.
So we'll look forward and wait with bated breath this afternoon.
No fake sound.
As you decide. There might be fake Taker, though. Who knows? As you decide which.
Are you?
I haven't thought. I have thought about that.
Are you fake Sandman?
Are you fake Sam?
I don't know.
Have you done a Billy button?
Does Mum and Dad
No.
lock the other Sam in the basement and feeding fish heads? We'll never know. Answers to that and more coming in the future. But that does lead me to say goodbye from See No Evil himself, don't you?
Hello.
Hear No Evil. Hear No Evil himself, Jackson.
Goodbye.
Au revoir from me. Goodbye.
When we fight one another, our hearts filled with hate. The ones who suffer are the ones who sit at home and wait. And there's always a reason, a good reason why. We're told it's for truth and for freedom, your freedom to kill or to die. Is there no denying those who are trying to poison our minds? 'Cause an eye for an eye is making the whole world blind. And the men that we follow, you are best left unheard. For your hearts are hollow, just like your words. So the fate of the many is sealed by the few. A better poor misguided. Deliver us, children.